This is your old self. The thoughts you repeat, the emotions you relive, the memories you won't release. And as long as you carry this, your reality cannot change. The weight is not always physical. Most of the time it is invisible, a silent load you have carried for years, but it is there. In the tightness in your chest every morning, in the voice in your head that says, "Don't expect too much," in the patterns you swore you would never repeat, but did anyway. It lives in your nervous system, in your chemistry, in your micro decisions. It is not just a past, it is a frequency. And like a song stuck on loop, your old self plays over and over, while your dreams wait on pause. Here is what no one tells you. You cannot step into your new life while being loyal to the energy of your past. Most people don't realize this. They try to manifest by thinking differently, by visualizing, by scripting. But underneath it all, they are still being the same person, still waking up in the same emotional state, still remembering the same story, still expecting the world to shift, while they stay energetically identical to who they were yesterday. Let's get honest. That identity, your old self, was built for one thing: survival. It was crafted during pain, in response to rejection, failure, disappointment. You didn't choose it consciously. It was a reaction, a defense mechanism, a mask you learned to wear. But over time, that mask became familiar, comfortable. You forgot it was a mask, and now it feels like you. But what if it isn't? Quantum physics teaches us something revolutionary. Reality doesn't exist independently. It responds to the observer, to your state of being. You are not separate from the field. You are the field collapsed into form. So every time you wake up and embody that old self, guess what the universe delivers? More of the same. Not because you are cursed, not because you are doing it wrong, but because the field is loyal to coherence, and you are the tuning fork. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are being. That is why this work isn't about becoming someone new. It is about unbecoming everything you are not. The old self wants to keep you safe, but safety is not your soul's purpose. Stagnation is not your destiny. That heavy identity you have carried, the one shaped by trauma, shame, or fear, is not the version of you who lives the reality you have glimpsed in your highest visions. That future reality is waiting, and it already exists. Not in the distant future, but in a parallel vibration,
in a frequency you align to, not chase. But here is the hard truth. You cannot access that reality while emotionally addicted to your past. You cannot keep reliving guilt or self-doubt and expect expansion. You cannot show up as yesterday's version of yourself and collapse a timeline you have never met. So what do we do? In this session, we will break this loop. We will meet the old self, not to judge it, but to release it. We will honor what it taught us, and then we will let it go. Because the field isn't asking you to try harder. It is waiting for you to tune in differently.
You wake up. Same bed, same thoughts, same internal narrative whispering through your mind before you even open your eyes. I hope today is different, you might think. But the moment your feet hit the floor, your body has already chosen otherwise. Why? Because long before your conscious mind begins to create, your subconscious identity has already taken over. You don't step into a new day. You step into an old self again. The body remembers. It remembers who you have been, not as memory, but as biology. Emotions become neurochemical patterns. Behaviors become automatic. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza, by the time you are 35 years old, 95% of who you are is a set of memorized behaviors and emotional reactions. In other words, most of what you call you isn't really you. It is programming, it is conditioning, it is the old self, and it is running the show. Bruce Lipton expands this as the moment you change your perception is the moment you rewrite the chemistry of your body. This is why change can feel so hard, because you are not just trying to shift your thoughts, you are trying to shift the emotional addiction your body has developed toward being that version of you. The self who expects disappointment, who is prepared for abandonment, who doesn't believe they are worthy of big things. Not because they are broken, but because somewhere long ago they decided it was safer to expect less. This is the real prison, not the outer world, but the identity we are afraid to leave behind, even when it is making us sick, even when it steals our joy. So let me ask you, with compassion, not judgment, what emotions do you feel the most often? Is it regret, anger, shame, insecurity, doubt? What if those emotions aren't random? What if they are rehearsed? What if your body is addicted to those signals because they reinforce the chemical identity of the old self? Here is the brutal truth most people never confront. Your old self is not just a memory, it is a magnetic field.
And the quantum field is listening, not to your affirmations, but to the emotional signature you carry 24/7. You may say you want love, but if your baseline is "I am not enough," you will repel intimacy. You may visualize abundance, but if your emotional home is fear, you will unconsciously block opportunities. Not because you don't deserve them, but because your nervous system has not yet updated to the version of you who is aligned with receiving.
So, what now? First, we bring awareness to this pattern, not to shame it, but to see it. To recognize that who you have been is not a fixed reality. It is a practiced vibration. And here is the beautiful paradox. The moment you start to observe your old self without merging with it, you become the observer. And in quantum terms, that changes everything. The observer collapses the wave. The moment you become aware of your old self as a pattern, you are no longer the pattern. You are the consciousness watching the pattern. And that awareness, that is the first crack of light in a whole new reality. We've been told to ask, to believe, to visualize, and yet so many of us are still waiting for something to click, for the money to arrive, for the right person to appear. But what if the problem isn't that your desire is too big, but that your vibration is still too familiar? Here is the truth that most manifestation teachings leave out. The quantum field doesn't respond to your words. It doesn't even care what you say you want. It mirrors back only one thing: your state of being. This is the law of vibrational coherence. In quantum terms, coherence is when your heart, your mind, your emotions, and your actions are all aligned. It is the energetic yes the universe is waiting for. You cannot out-manifest your frequency. The field doesn't hear "I want abundance." It hears "I am not enough," if that is what you feel all day long. Not because the field is cruel, but because it is exact. Think of the quantum field like a mirror. You don't raise your hand and expect the reflection to raise the other. You have to shift truly for the reflection to follow. But the future you, the one living the life you want, doesn't just think differently. They are different. They feel differently. They walk into rooms differently. They speak from a deeper place. They have shifted from wanting to being, from hoping to embodying. So here is the question that matters more than any vision board. Who do I need to become to be a vibrational match to what I desire? Not in the future, now, in this moment, in thought, in feeling, in action, in embodiment. Because when you become, the universe reflects, not gradually, but instantly, in energy,
in signs, in synchronicities. You'll know because you'll feel it, that gentle pull that says you have tuned into something real. You'll stop feeling like you are trying so hard, and that is when the field begins to bend.
Let's not just talk about change. Let's feel it. Let's become it. This is where the shift becomes real. Right now, you are going to guide yourself into a quantum identity reset. Let's begin. Step 1. Name the old self. You cannot let go of what you don't recognize. Give your old identity a name. Maybe it is the doubter, the overachiever, the one who settled. Whatever name comes intuitively, claim it. Now speak to that identity. Thank it. It kept you alive, but it is not the one who will carry you forward. Step 2. The ritual of release. Visualize yourself carrying that version of you like a heavy backpack, a suitcase filled with memories, stories, patterns. And now see yourself stopping, taking it off, setting it down. You don't need to destroy it, you just need to release it. Picture yourself walking away, lighter, taller, clearer. You have collapsed the energy that kept you bound. Step 3. Embody the new self. Who are you now? Feel it. In this moment, stand or sit in the posture of the version of you who already lives in alignment. The one who trusts their intuition, the one who radiates peace. How would they breathe, speak, look around? Shift into that version now. Step 4. Anchor it. Repeat the following phrase, not mechanically, but with presence, with choice. I no longer collapse the past. I tune into who I truly am. Let those words be a frequency. Let them cut through the old signal. You are not just saying them, you are becoming them. When you finally let go of who you were, reality begins to rearrange itself around who you truly are. Not someday, not after a year of work, but now. Because the shift doesn't begin when the world changes, it begins when you change. And maybe for the first time in a long time, you are feeling it. That lightness, that strange mix of peace and possibility. That is not your imagination. That is the field responding. Reality has always been more malleable than we were taught. It is fluid, dynamic, alive, and waiting. Not for you to chase it, but for you to tune into it. This is how quantum manifestation actually works. You don't drag your future toward you, you rise to meet it. You become the frequency of the life you desire, and the external world must conform, not because it is magic, but because it is mathematics. Because your vibration is the architecture of your reality. The real practice begins now. When an old emotion rises, you'll remember, this is not me, this is a residue. When an old pattern tries to play out, you'll pause and say, I no longer collapse that version of me. You are no longer broadcasting the past. You have changed your signal. So, as we close this sacred container, I want to ask you something deeper than a like or a subscribe. If this video woke something inside you, if it reminded you that there is a self within you that is not broken, not wounded, but infinite, then leave something in the field. Make your presence known. Comment below, the old me has been released. Let it be your signature, your energetic declaration to the quantum field. And if this space has felt like more than content, if it has felt like remembrance, then come closer. Subscribe to the laboratory, not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent. You are not alone in this. You are part of a field of beings awakening to their quantum nature. The old you has served its purpose. The new you is already living the next chapter. And reality, it is listening. We'll see you in the next timeline. Welcome to Quantum Core.